Hello and welcome to the very first of many review podcasts. I'm your host. Some of you may know me, Bryce Roy. Today, we got guest joining us, Mr. Hudson Forrest Konst. And you may be wondering, where are we? Well, today we're on a cloudy fog day at Shames Mountain. It's beautiful. Snowboarding. And we're on the chairlift. We're going to be talking about something that's very dear to many of our hearts. A very interesting subject, and that is
Bigfoot real?
You got to speak up. Like, you're not.
Is Bigfoot
take this
real?
off. Is Bigfoot real? Okay. Now, a lot of people may, have strong feelings about this. So this is just a bare all interview. So if you don't like it, then get out of the kitchen. That's what I always say. So Hudson, what do you think? Is Bigfoot real?
I've been thinking about this lately, and I honestly think he could be real, but there's also a high chance that he's not.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. See, I wouldn't put it past Bigfoot to actually be out there in the forest doing his thing, and there's a lot of eyewitness accounts of people who allegedly have seen Bigfoot. However, I also have strong thoughts that if Bigfoot's really out there, there's thousands of Bigfoot hunters, so-called. I think that if Bigfoot, if there was evidence, somebody could have shot or killed Bigfoot by now, but I honestly, I don't know. I just think that, I would say that percentage-wise, out of 100, I'm about a 70-20 split. How about you, Hudson?
I strongly agree with that statement.
An exact 70-20 split.
Yeah,
out of 100.
It makes sense.
Okay.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, me and Hudson would have listened to other podcasts about Bigfoot. People who have seen them, who have not. Some of them seem quite realistic. Possibly even it could have happened. But others, you just think, this guy's on drugs. So I think that people that do believe in Bigfoot, they're a little bit insane, clinically. They probably have some sort of brain disease.
Yeah. But thing is, there's been so many folk tales, so many stories about Bigfoot, and we truly know nothing about it if it does exist.
Okay.
It could be so intelligent that it just knows how to hide itself.
How to evade,
humans.
or maybe it can turn invisible.
Exactly.
You know what? I would be a little scared to go into a forest alone as a female. This guy's giving us a look. Thinking, could Bigfoot rape me? What do you think, Hudson?
Bigfoot is probably a type of ape.
Yeah.
And I've seen gorillas rape gorillas before.
But could it do it to a human being?
Well, here's the thing. It's dark out. You're in a forest. Bigfoot's silhouette is kind of like a human's.
True.
If there's a female walking through the forest at 12 at night, you never know.
He could grab a hold of you.
Yeah, they're probably fairly strong. I've heard up to 9 feet tall.
9 feet.
Tall.
And I think that maybe some women, it's dark and they can't even see. They just think there's some big guy on them. Even some dudes, sometimes I think about Bigfoot and I'm like, he could do some damage. So I'm just a little wary of, is Bigfoot actually a good person? Is he, kind? Because I think, he could be a little evil.
Well,
he's part animal.
Well, there's no accounts of any of this stuff happening.
And
if a Bigfoot is real and it just wants to evade humans, I'm sure it's gone.
I just feel as though, so maybe people don't tell about, strange encounters that they've had. So I think maybe they're just ashamed, being the person who got done over by Bigfoot. I think that's definitely not something you want to broadcast. But what do you think Bigfoot is? How do you think he came to be? That's what is on my mind.
I think. So you guys know the missing link, right?
The missing link. So fill us in on the missing link. He's
I
like
think
a salty fish
an
man.
Evolution of the missing link.
Really?
I think it just took a bigger
But they're so
approach.
different. A link's a fish man. Bigfoot is like a hairy giant man.
No. The missing link is not a fish man.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, whatever.
Anyways, here's what I think. Science experiment gone wrong. Maybe there's crossbreeding with human and apes, or they
That would
created,
make sense.
or they injected monkey DNA into a person who then turned into Bigfoot. I think that's a pretty reasonable explanation. Maybe they did X amount of studies. You know, they made a couple Bigfoots on women and men, and then they escaped, got into the wild, and started, you know, like breeding in with other animals or with themselves to create modern Bigfoot.
That's very plausible.
You know, I think that, is it that insane to think that, you know, scientists maybe in Russia or somewhere have done this, and these animals or people or whatever they could migrate throughout other places.
Very true.
I think it's...
And if you think about the location and migration, where would you think that these Bigfoot or Sasquatches,
yeah,
where would you think their main place,
a forest.
like their habitat? Where
I
do you
think a
think they
forest.
live?
I
No,
think
but like
specifically
in the world. Like we talking Washington, northern BC.
I think there's a good chance
West
of the
Coast.
Rocky Mountains / boreal forests of BC. We got deciduous forest, super dense, super thick. You can't even see through it. So I think, you know, along like coastal mountain ranges where these forests are super thick is a really plausible explanation. But also where it's, you know, a little dry / warmer climate. Because let's be real, the winters here are no joke. So I think it's possible for them to migrate through the forest south of the border.
Very true.
You know?
All right, I'm gonna hit you with something.
Okay.
Think about this. Bigfoot Island. What do you say?
How would
all
they
right.
get to said island? Can they swim? Did they learn to swim?
They were created on said island.
The science, so they haven't.
And the spottings have been weak Bigfoot that have traveled and swam to the main island.
Oh, so ones that got away.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That could be true.
And then
Nobody's really been to this island because, you know, you've heard of the Komodo Dragon Island. It's the only island, one of them, filled with these giant lizards. Could it be the same with Bigfoot? You know, a secluded island where, you know, like a King Kong story where the rest of the world,
Big feet roam.
they roam free. Maybe they have some sort of civilization where, you know, they're accepted for their ugliness.
See, what I'm thinking.
A colony of Bigfoot that kind of live together in harmony.
What I'm thinking is
There's no laws.
It's not a big island.
Just
Maybe about the size of Smithers.
Okay. For those of you who don't know where Smithers is, it's a small city outside of Terrace, BC.
It's to the west coast of BC, so it's
So somewhere
to the
like
west.
I would say it's like a size of
Past-
Haida Gwaii. You know,
past Haida Gwaii.
Past Haida Gwaii.
Yeah.
Where the sea is
And
kind of
it's
crazy.
just it's constantly just that island is constantly covered in fog.
Or even a small pocket of islands.
Yeah.
You know, I could see it happening.
It's just constantly covered in fog. Nobody's discovered it yet.
And they could have gotten back through log jams. There's lots of floating free logs around there. You got to watch it. They could have grabbed on and paddled. I think that's a plausible explanation. It could happen. Somebody should go and do a Bigfoot search around those islands because I think there's, you know,
I
enough
think we're onto something with this
enough
island.
feasible proof of our assumingness that this could happen. This could happen.
It's not 100% true,
But you never know.
exactly, it's not false. We don't know.
There's no proof otherwise. Nothing. Is the name proof? You can't. In the chat, is there proof of Bigfoot's not existing? It's something that you can't prove, but you could prove that it does exist. Could there be a zoo somewhere in Cambodia with a misshapen monkey who's actually a trapped Bigfoot?
Exactly.
Who knows?
Exactly.
Who knows?
And who's to say that big feet don't live in Africa or something like that?
Exactly.
Why do they have to be like a northern monkey?
They could be a national animal. I also think that, you know, maybe there's big feet who are like Yetis, who are white, who kind of naturally migrate toward northern climates. That's where the Yetis or the abominable
Antarctica?
snowmans
We
come.
got no idea what's going on there.
Yeah, they could be fishing, killing
They
polar
could
whale
live
or
under
polar
the
bears.
ice.
They could, with snorkels. Could you imagine? We'd never know. Yeah, I just think that we should treat Bigfoot like regular people. You know, they have rights. Maybe they're not as smart as us or as handsome as us, but I think that they could exist.
Well, they could be more intelligent. That's how we haven't found them yet. It's
There may
possible.
be City of Atlantis. Could the Bigfoot have sunk in that And could they be living somewhere like that, underwater,
Have
in
the
an
big
underwater
feet
bubble?
already adapted? Have they grown wings? Have they?
They could be
grown
living in the
gills?
sky. You know, there could be Bigfoot everywhere. We just don't see them. Maybe underground burrows.
That's what I'm saying.
There's any number of explanations.
Look at this ski hill we're on right now. Look at this ski hill.
Forest. They could be up here.
You think there could be tunnels going all throughout this ski hill?
We have a lot of snow.
Just littered with big feet.
And he maybe missing skiers. He picks them off for lunch or like a nice mid-afternoon snack.
Yep.
It could happen. And
Don't ski alone, people.
Don't ski alone. Bigfoot could come at you. I'm sure he could rip off your clothes, even if snow gear are pretty sturdy. You know, I think he could do it. In all honesty,
if they say they're 10 feet tall,
a couple big shreds. You know, you never know what could be happening. And I think a lot of it's fake. To be honest, the media portraying these Bigfoot hunters as crazy, which could be true. But mostly, I just, you know, I'm hopeful to someday maybe see a Bigfoot with my own eyes, or you know, go
So
to
you're
the zoo.
telling me you haven't seen a Bigfoot?
I haven't seen a Bigfoot.
No
with my own
sightings?
eyes. No, I've seen some pretty hairy guys that are half naked at the swimming pool, but no.
Let me let you in on a little secret.
You've seen one?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Did it have its way with you?
No.
Well, that's good. You're one of the lucky few.
I was on Hawaii Island, Queen Charlotte's.
Really?
My sister lived there for a period of time. I went there for Christmas one year. Snow on the... Actually, no, there wasn't snow on the ground.
There could be, but anyways, we'll wrap this up. We're almost at the end of the chair.
We went on a hike. We went up this mountain, and there's a huge overview with a swing.
Swing.
So I'm swinging on it.
Okay.
My dog's sitting beside me.
Yeah.
He starts going crazy.
Going nuts, as
He starts
dogs
going
do.
wild. I automatically think bear, cougar, wolf.
You know.
What's the word? I get ready for attack,
Yeah.
you know?
Did you have
I'm ready to
that
protect
hair
my
on the
dog.
back of the neck feeling, like
Yes.
something's watching you? Okay.
Yeah.
And then
So
what
all of a
happened?
sudden, I stop swinging.
You stop swinging.
Get on the ground, plant my
Listening.
feet, and look around.
Yeah.
And in the corner of my eye,
In the corner of his eye,
I see
he sees.
probably an 8 to 7 foot tall creature
Wow.
pass through the dense forest.
How did it move? Was it crashing through, or was it silent, like sort of swimming
It was
through?
silent. It was dead silent.
Wow.
Feet, like massive feet.
Big feet, like
Big
size
yeah.
14 and a half.
Wingspan, huge. His arms are almost dragging on the
could really
ground.
toss you up.
Yeah, exactly. And he was just moving silently.
Well, there you go. There's a first-hand experience. Bigfoot walking through some bushes. There is some videos, but I don't know. I think they could be faked. I think, you know, any number of things could happen. But here we have Hudson Konst. He's a believer. He doesn't exactly know what he's seen, but he does know that it was a Sasquatch. Yeah. Anyways, we got a beautiful view here. Thank you for joining Reviews Podcast, where we discuss the really important issues going on in the world
That
today.
nobody else talks about.
And nobody else talks about. Why? Are they covered up? Who knows? Join us sometime soon. We'll be discussing different kinds of fruit and which ones are good, which ones are bad, and different things like that. But until then, enjoy the rest of your day, and we're going to be snowboarding. Keep an eye out for Bigfoot, and don't travel alone.